spiritual belief. So, right up front, I'm not a big religious guy. My wife is, but trusting in the higher power, whatever that might be. It doesn't have to be whatever religion you're used to. Whether it's Buddhism or Christianity or Islam, whatever it is. It could be the mouse in the corner. Whatever you pick that you think has a higher power, something you can put your faith in, has shown to be something very common in people that live long. They all have some sort of belief. They all believe in something. And what I think and what I've learned is it allows you to relinquish some stress. Think about it, right? You get into trouble and you go, God, help me out. And so you're kind of taking that stress and you're putting in the lap of what you believe in, and the reduction in stress is going to help you live longer. It's a good tactic. I'm working on it. I'm trying to figure out where that is. That's why I'm going to a Vipassana, 10-day retreat. I'll come back as a Buddhist or something. I don't know. But cold thermogenesis. This is my favorite. I have a freezer in the back. It's full of filtered water, 45 degrees. This is a fantastic therapy. If you haven't done it, you need to start doing it. So basically, in a nutshell, what happens is when you do cold thermogenesis, you start to convert white fat that's really pretty much useless into what's called brown fat, and that's the stuff that has energy. It has a little more mitochondria in it, and it's a more of a metabolically active fat. It helps keep you warm, and it allows you to sit in that cold without shivering. And if you ever notice, like older people, and I know I'm old as shit, but older than that, they're always cold. They're always like they're shaking because they just don't have the buildup. And a little story about me is, it wasn't long ago that I slept in sweatpants. I was down here. I have a Tasso hat on right now. Everyone at work going, I remember, I have not had a coat on all winter yet. When I started to really, and I'm comfortable sitting in 45-degree water, for however long I have to sit there. And it works. I am absolutely more healthy in the cold. I go outside in the morning and meditate. If it's 30 degrees, I'll sit out there for 30 minutes. I couldn't go outside in 30 degrees with a ski jacket on before. So something you want to look at. You get a little bump in norepinephrine, and I get out of the cold tub and everyone thinks I drank a six-pack. I'm like, I'm like chatty catty. It's just, you just get this rush, and it's super good. Lowers your blood sugar, a little easier transfer from the glucose into your muscle cells. So, and I see that, like I'll go and I do the sauna, and when I come out of the sauna, it spikes my blood sugar. We'll talk a little bit about that. When I jump in the cold tub and I come out of there, it dropped maybe 20 to 30 points. That definitely works. So I'm sucking in whatever floating glucose I have, which is good. And so in turn, you start burning some fat, for all those reasons. So try it out. And we can talk about this. I'd love to do a session on heat and cold one evening. It's fascinating. You got to be doing it. It has so many health advantages. And so I'm going to read you. This will put the heat therapy all right where it needs to be. Just let me read this here for a second. So, death from cardiovascular disease was 50% less likely in a 20-year follow-up study of men using the sauna 4 to 5 times a week at 172 to 175 degrees. That's pretty hot. Incredibly, it also noted that those using a sauna 4 to 5 times a week had a 40% reduction in all-cause mortality. Bam! Like that is, and this is a very credited study, and there's a bunch of these out there. But the use of sauna definitely will make you live longer. Like there's some good evidence of that, but it has to be hot. The tests were done on the Swedish sauna, so that's the one with the rocks in it, and it's 172, 175. I have one out in the garage. We try to get it up to about 180 before we get in there, but we want to be between 170 and 180. You want to be about 20 minutes, so you have to work yourself up to that. Okay, so it helps longevity, gives you increased blood flow. Your body's trying to cool. It's vasodilating you, so you're getting more blood flow. So it's a great it's a great circulatory thing for you, and the improved endurance. You're going to get that from just the same type of effect, and it helps reduce blood pressure. So all that vasodilation, it does good things. for you. And I generally like to leave the sauna and jump into the cold bath, just to get that kind of shock treatment a little bit better. So breathing, this is another one that really can affect your health. Most people don't breathe properly. So if you're breathing through your mouth, you're not breathing properly. And if you're breathing through your mouth during the day, you're breathing through your mouth during the night. If you're breathing through your mouth during the night, that's bad. If you're snoring, that's bad. You're not going to sleep properly. You might think you are, but you're not. I tape my mouth. I've been taping my mouth for a long time. I go to bed, my mouth is taped, and but you have to be a nose breather, and you have to train yourself to be a good nose breather, because once you put that tape on, you'll start freaking out if you can't breathe through your nose. But what happens when you breathe through your mouth is you overbreathe, and people think the more that they do, the more their muscles are going to be oxygenated, and that's not true. What happens is if you take in too much oxygen, you start depleting your carbon dioxide. You need the carbon dioxide to gets the oxygen into the blood. Okay, so if you don't have any carbon dioxide, then the blood's not going to get oxygenated. So if you're over breathing, which most people are doing, if you're over breathing, then you're depleting your carbon dioxide, and that's something you don't want to do. So practice nose breathing, and you want to practice it with your belly. We're all about and we should. You want your stomach going in and out. That's where your diaphragm is. You want to breathe and let it come up to your chest. I'm taking a certification in breathing right now, and once I get that, I'll be able to train people in breathing. I'll be able to assess people in breathing, and we'll do a session. I'll take a look at your breathing, see what you're doing, see what we can do to correct it, and then give you exercises. Phenomenal stuff. Breathing is just extremely underrated. And when you breathe properly, if you do breathe properly, nice, belly breaths, and through your nose, you're going to activate your parasympathetic nervous system. And so that's why in meditation, people get so relaxed, because they're nose breathing and they're following the breath, and it kind of just relaxes them. So that's a good one. And then purpose. They also found that you got to have a purpose. And for some people it's work. For other people it's taking care of their kids. But you got to wake up in the morning and feel like you have something that you have a purpose for. You're living. There's a reason you're getting out of bed. They're finding that leads to healthier behaviors and also longer life. They're seeing that in the blue zones. Those people all feel like they have a purpose, whether it's their garden or whether it's farming or whether it's building houses. And they're seeing that people with a purpose have a lower risk of disease as well. So try to. And there's good references on how to do that. We talked a little bit about your circadian rhythm. Every one of our organs is on a master clock. Every one of them. And so you want to try to keep that cycle repeated. It's very important. Once you figure it out, hey, I should be in bed at 9, I should be up at 7, and once you get that rhythm going, you want to try to stay in that cycle. It's extremely important. So your sleep cycle is going to be controlled about that, and like we talked before, light's going to control that. How you let the light in and how you keep the light out is going to help your circadian rhythm stay in check. There's a lot of studies about shift workers, and they're saying now that shift work can be kind of chronic. Because you're just completely out of circadian rhythm. You're working at night and you're sleeping during the day, and it kind of throws you off. And an interesting experiment would be, if you're not sure what your rhythm is, go camping, get away from all this stuff, put your sleeping bag out, and see when you fall asleep and when you wake up. It'll only take you a couple days, and you'll be pretty fascinated. When the sun goes down, 8:30, you're going to be ready to bail. And then when it comes up, you're going to be ready to get up. So that's what we want to do. Cardiovascular health, obviously this all ties to that. You need to do exercise. We all know that's going to help us. We got to eat right. That's going to help us. We got to keep our stress down. So, but the reason I like to look at this is you still got to understand what your labs are saying. If you want to avoid